Hello everybody, welcome back to Pillars of Eternity 2 turn-based mode. I meant to make the last video and this video one video, but unfortunately I paused it and then walked away and forgot about this until the next day, and the recording had ended somehow. So I might jam this onto the last one, I'm not sure, or this might be two separate ones. Either way, I think you'll survive. I'm going to quickly go over who I've created here, which if you've watched the last video, I specifically had a character in mind, and I built that character around the mindset that we created with the last video. And that is of, so this is the continued character from Pillars of Eternity 1, which I never finished. I only played like Act 1 of that. Don't remember my character or anything like that. But what we put in the last video was that we were a complete failure in Pillars of Eternity. All of our friends died. We did everything wrong. I mean, we tried to do the right thing, but we just failed at everything. They had an option for that, which I thought was really cool, so I wanted to build a character around that. So we have here Shell, a first-level Cipher. She is a female Wild Orlan. And my thought process here is Wild Orlans are apparently... Unfortunately, I don't think I can get the spiel here for you. Is there any way I can... No, but it said that Wild Orlans were kind of looked down upon and thought of as uncultured type of people. So she's got a chip on her shoulder. She's from the Deadfire archipelago, and she's a drifter. So the idea behind this character is that in Pillars of Eternity 1, she's kind of like this person who's always been out of place. She didn't live among Wild Orlans. She lived among the Huanama or whatever. The big strong people, and she's like this tiny drifter who always wanted something better, but has sort of always failed at it and been pushed around her entire life. And finally, Pillars of Eternity was like, I'm going to do it. And then she just completely hard fails there. Everyone dies. It's her fault. She's getting this opportunity in the second one to make better, and she's taking it because despite everything, she still has really strong resolve. It's a race feature, I suppose. I don't know. So she's sort of beaten down, but at the same time, she's like sees this as an opportunity to take advantage. So that's sort of the character mindset we're going with, which I think I'm kind of excited for. I feel like once I can build this sort of character like that, and if we can kind of keep with that character in the game itself, that's what keeps me playing versus combat or some other stuff. Story, blah blah blah. So even if I think the story's kind of lame and traditional, which I don't know if that's true or not, I kind of thought that in the first one, but maybe they've done a little better here, because Obsidian's always had really great writers. But as long as I can keep that, immerse myself in the character a bit, it doesn't really necessarily matter if the story's kind of just bland or not, because your character is sort of the unbland part in your mind, I guess. I don't know. So some other things that I've just done, I don't really know. I don't really, care too much about the traits and stuff, which, will hurt me. But at the same time, it's never been why I've played these type of games. So we've got the recommended ones highest, which is perception and dexterity, and then intellect. So those are our three highest traits, which I felt suited the character as well. Oh yeah, and we're a Cipher, which I didn't go over. The Ciphers are sort of characters that can manipulate logic. I don't know if that's not really the way to put it. Unfortunately, God, should I just go back and show you? But anyways, they can use their mind powers to do things. And the reason I chose her as a Cipher, it kind of made sense with her character of they're super powerful, but people don't really know much about them and they're untrusted. So if it's like a Wild Orlan Cipher, people are just going to be like, oh my God, get this person away from me. And she's just trying to do good and do right, and just people won't let her. Is sort of what I'm going for. So the Cipher works for that. And then she's got the pistol and Warhammer. I like the idea. I mean, she's going to use most of her mind powers, but she also has a pistol. But if someone gets close, I like the idea of her pulling out this stupidly fearsome Warhammer that might not work for her and be stupid. We're a failure, right? We're not trying to aim to have this badass character. We're trying to have a character who fits with her mindset and tries to maybe go beyond a bit what she's capable of. So that's our character. That's Shell, who's named after a character in one of my books that I thought suited her. Although Shell in my books is not a failure
Go
of any
forth
kind.
now, Watcher, as my herald. Know that I do not give you this title lightly. When the time comes, you will have the power to reveal the souls that cling to you, to open the gateway from the in-between to the waking world. Find Aethys. Learn his plans. When I have cause to talk to you, I will summon you.
With a quick gesture of her hand, you feel a sharp pain in what would be your chest. The pain continues, intruding deeper into your soul. Looking down, you see a small lump of darkness roiling within you. The darkness lingers there, but the pain abates and fades entirely within the span of a few seconds.
Oh, and I just want to say, like, we're failures. We want to do good. We want this redemption arc, but at the same time, we're still ourselves. You know, if we feel like someone's bossing us around, we're liable to be like, "Fuck you! I don't care if you're right. Fuck you! We're not going to listen to you." Because that's sort of our history of being bossed around and pushed around by the huge people.
And harm you unless you choose to cross me again.
The pits of her eyes darken briefly, flashing a death's head your way. The translucent mask quickly returns, and her gauntleted hand gestures to the dwarf hovering nearby. The dwarf nods, contorts his face with his odd smile, and gestures to a new door.
And actually, I think if we hadn't answered those questions before going into the character generation, I would have made like a godlike type character, because I think they're really cool. I'm pretty sure that's who I played in the first one, but I didn't think that really fit with what we were trying to do with the questions we had answered before. Can we get into the game now? I want to try out this combat. I'll definitely get to the combat in this episode, unless it just ends up taking forever, but I doubt it will. I'm sure as soon as we get out of here, we'll fight something, because that's how these games think you just love combat. You sense the steward's spirit in the bust, but she is unaware of you. Oh yeah, we're going to be on a ship, aren't we? Because that's sort of the thing they have going on here.
The return to your body feels like waking after a fitful drunken sleep. The rocking of the ship sends pain jolting through your limbs. Crashing waves hammer inside your skull.
This is the portrait I chose for myself. You'll notice that she has no fur on her face, but unfortunately they had no hooded female Orlin type character, which was really annoying, because they just had like their head fully uncovered, which I know like people who play this character probably like that, but I feel like her type of character would try to hide her traits, because she doesn't really like that she's an Orlin, because she's kind of been looked down on for her entire life because of it. So I feel like her type of character would have a hood.
Have you returned to us?
The voice echoes from inside the bust. The remains of the steward of Cadnua.
How are you feeling?
Alive.
Given what you've suffered, that is no small accomplishment.
No,
I hate
thanks.
to cast a pall over your recovery, but I'm afraid I have some bad news for you.
Then shut up.
Cadnua has been destroyed.
Good.
Aethys possessed the statue of Maros Nua and rose from the ground, consuming the souls of all nearby. It is only by the exceptional strength of your soul that you survived. And even then, just barely.
But it's still good, right?
The
I'm still
further
awesome.
Aethys withdrew, the weaker you became. We chartered this ship and followed him to the Deadfire archipelago.
By the way, in the first one, I did actually try to record it a few times. It was really hard to do because they did the thing where they would just like give you this whole massive thing and then they just would say little pieces of it, which was really awkward because for a number of reasons. One, it's really hard for me to do a recording on that because then either you have to read or I have to read, and it just interrupts me constantly. Even if you're not recording, though, it's awkward because like they say things like way down here, and then you have to go up here and read it all and then get down there, and then you've already heard that piece. So I don't like that style of doing it. I really dislike it, and I don't know what they were thinking with it. I don't know if they do it in here or not, but so far it looks like they read it.
But it
is the beginning, so that might change.
And proximity to it has brought you back.
But it seems he has retained a part of your soul, and it's brought me back. Remain silent.
Misfortunes brewing topside. Wait, Magrants fires the captain stirs.
I'm a captain.
Man with ale sour breath.
I'm the captain.
Bloodshot eyes and stares at you.
Oh, food's ready.
Engrim, the smell of drink on your breath could wake the very dead. Now what's this about?
Pirates. They're demanding parley with you, Captain.
I don't parley with any
It would be wise
body.
to arm yourself first, my lady. You'll find equipment in the wardrobe next to me.
My trusty pistol, old Mary Sue is what I call her, I suppose, and Mr. Axie.
You should prepare for battle.
We're not very creative people.
I would not wager on the mercy of pirates.
Mary Sue's the name of my sister, who was murdered. Well after I was gone. Wait, what? Medium armor. Armor rating 7, and then I have light armor equipped. Sure. We'll have medium armor. That's fine. We'll put this in the second slot. I don't really know how all this works. Like, obviously, with the fucking real-time with pause shit, you're constantly like, oh god, I gotta switch, pause, switch. But with turn-based, maybe you can use either of them without having to switch, or I don't know. I don't really know how that works. Because usually in turn-based, right, you're like, okay, melee's 1, shoots 2, Overwatch 3 or whatever, and you don't have to deal with like shuffling your inventory around because you just use what's on you. Alright. Is there a... Okay, there's a button to see what we can interact with. The word Yukaizo is scribbled and crossed out on many points of this globe. So are we looking for Yukaizo? Is that why we're on a ship? Sounds like we're going to be getting into a fight, hopefully, with these pirates. We just realized, we had all this like, oh, we failed, but we have redemption arc. But now we woke up and he told us we're a captain, and we're like, oh yeah, I'm a badass captain with old Mary Sue and Axie. We're gonna take some heads if they push us too hard. Which, being headstrong is a reason that we're a bit of a failure. And long loading screens make us angry as well. So we're getting even more choppy right now.
Well, what have we here? A little sloop? Lost and alone in the storm?
Okay, so we still do have the sort of the flavor text that I have to read. But maybe I'm pretty sure in the last one they had like flavor text here and then like some flavor text after, and he would read this piece and then also read this piece, and you'd have to be like this guy, and then you'd read the thing he already said to you. I'm pretty sure that's how it worked. Maybe my complaint's wrong, but I do remember that. Or they would say something different than what was written down. A surly, brutish-looking captain stands stiff-backed before his crew. He scowls as he assesses you, his hair whipping about his ears in the wind.
I'll be taking your ship now, if you don't mind. And especially if you do.
That's not how you parley.
Give her up easy, and I'll see you get a swift death. It'll be bloody and agonizing, sure. But at least it'll be quick.
I don't think that's how that works. I don't have any quarrel with you. Why do you want my ship? Pirates! The storm's pretty loud. Did you say you're surrendering? How strange. I'm going to mount your skull in my cabin. Make a rude hand gesture. Attack. Fire all cannons. Aim at the mouthy one. The problem with already having a character mindset is that you want to choose what the character would choose, but you don't also want to spend 5 minutes puzzling over the different ways of doing it. So we're just going to say, fuck off, dude.
Oh, I like your spirit.
He laughs long and loud over the din of the howling rain. Then he sobers instantly, his face a mask of rage. I feel like some of those were too clever for this character that we have.
That won't spare you none.
We're not very clever. We can be snarky sometimes, but we're not wisecracking all the time. He cracks his neck as he addresses his crew.
Me a bigger fish, one with sharper teeth like. I'm trusting you lot not to cock this up. Don't damage the sloop when you take it. Play with the crew if you'd like, but don't bring me any prisoners. None that are alive.
That's not how prisoners work.
You had bandwidth. After him.
So they're just going to jump on and then he's going to take a ship away? Is that what's happening? Yeah, okay. So we've got a whole bunch of people, actually. There's 6 of them here. We've got our turn-based mode here. It's giving me tutorials over here, but we're ignoring them for reasons unknown. This looks like it's turn order. I can't quite read this because it's covered up by my little overlay. But yeah, so this is round 1 maybe, and then round 2. We've got our attack, cancel, select all, inventory, character sheet, journal, wait, stealth, formation, map, and options: escape, pause, delay turn, combat speed, whatever. So we're here. We've got our pistol currently equipped, but this guy's like right in our face, so maybe I don't want to use the pistol. Maybe I want to switch weapons. 80%, 130%. This guy's who we're attacking. Does it tell us how much damage we're doing? Is it that 4? Oh, by the way, I don't know if I covered this. No, it looks like that's armor. I don't know if I covered this, but the turn-based mode is in beta. It's not a full release yet. And I was going to wait originally, but I don't know. I just really wanted to do this and try this out. And I was thinking, well, anyways, let's just attack this guy with our axe. Oh, maybe I need to click this first. Why can't I, what's going on here? Attack. It's my turn. What's going on here? Is it because I strike with heavy piercing attacks, gaining additional penetration? Do I not have enough turn points? Like, I'm not really sure what's going on here, or where I find this information at. Shit, what the fuck? Okay, intern. I don't really know what to do. We'll just see if I just didn't have enough points to attack.
Defend the ship!
Okay, can I attack him now? I think probably I can. Maybe it was just giving me like a move turn. Is that what that was? But yeah, let's hit him with our axe. Take some of that armor down. Okay, so yeah, it looks like this is just I don't have enough points is what this little symbol is telling me. Toggle, what was that? Toggle intern after action. Okay. So I think it was I just wasn't close enough. So either there's a movement piece, which actually would be really nice at the beginning, or me switching weapons and moving closer just ate up all my points. Looks like we have a meter here. So yeah, normally this would be real time with pause, right, where everybody's doing like attacks here. These guys are up here fighting, and I have to like pause and go, all right, attack, hack, attack. You do these, unpause. Oh god, I have to go get this, and make sure he's got his cooldowns down, and I don't like it. Although it doesn't look like I control these people, so it would have been fine. If you're just controlling like 1 or 2 people, it doesn't confuse me too much. We're taking some big ol' hits here, though. I did forget that I actually had that Cypher ability. Of course, this does mean that combat is a little slower, obviously, so we can turn up the combat speed, I think. Combat speed. So we can make fast mode, which I don't see any reason not to do that. We also have the Visage of Death's Herald. Use your Watcher powers to gaze through your target's eyes deep into their soul, frightening them. And then we have our first level spells. Telekinetic Bursts, throwing them back all those nearby, and Soul Shock, which seems pretty cool on a boat, like I could push them off, and I would probably use that, but since I'm already about to kill this guy, let's just go for the finishing blow there. I guess we'll worry about this later. Who needs help? Probably these guys are good up here. We probably need to go this way. And then we'll end our turn. Just because those seem to be a bit even, more even down here. Oh. Wait, what? I just had to kill the one guy, maybe? You've defeated the pirates, but you're not out of trouble yet. The storm picks up, lashing your ship and driving you dangerously close to a rocky shore. The Defiant's crew, that's mine, hurries to reduce sail and batten down the hatches. They work quickly, but the ship is still listing heavily. Just then, a loose crate tumbles towards you, gathering speed on the rain-slick deck. Misses you, but knocks Chitupek, one of your deckhands, off his feet. The Defiant heaves. Chitupek pitches over the side. He grabs onto the rail, but his fingers are slipping. He cries out for help. Meanwhile, the runaway crate totters on the edge of the deck, ready to plunge overboard. You recognize the symbol on the front, and you realize it likely contains the salvage from Cade Nua. Of course, we're going to try to rescue our bud here. We've had too many people die, and I don't even know what's in that crate. You grab Chitupek's arm just as his grip fails. For a tense moment, he hangs suspended over the roiling sea. Then, with a mighty tug, you pull him back onto the deck. You hear a heavy splash. The crate from Cade Nua is gone. Chitupek, meanwhile, nods in gratitude and hurries to his station. Meanwhile, the storm has nearly driven you ashore. A flash of lightning reveals a treacherous coastline and Eothas striding into the distance. This is the bad guy, I guess, from the last game that we're trying to stop. He's the god of rebirth, redemption, dawn, spring, and light, traditionally shown as a man bearing a candle and wearing a silver crown, but believed to have possessed the body of the Red Siren farmer Waidwin during the Saints' War and been destroyed along with Waidwin at the end of the war. He recently reformed his essence in the statue of Maras Nua beneath Cade Nua. In the process of pulling himself from the endless paths, he destroyed the castle and left the Watcher of Cade Nua at the brink of death. So maybe he wasn't the bad guy. Maybe that was just like, now he's the bad guy in this game. I don't know. The lookout barely has time to shout a warning before the Defiant runs aground. The impact hurls you from the deck and into a froth of waves, bodies, and splintering debris. You struggle towards the beach just ahead, even as the surf tugs you toward the open sea. You kick and paddle with all your might, until at last you feel sand between your fingers. Pulling yourself ashore, you collapse. Safe radius. Alright, so that was the combat. It's fine. I mean, it's not something I'm gonna ever really love, but it's sort of like the old the Fallout games, the old Fallout games, right? I think that's what they based it off of. Which again, I love those games. Never really loved the combat in them, but that's sort of typical for me. So not really a complaint. Seek out means of repairing your ship. Explore the island. You wake to the sound of waves and the taste of sand in your mouth. You have survived the storm, washed onto an unfamiliar shore. In the sand around you lies the scattered debris from the wreckage of the Defiant. Nearby, you spot a familiar stone
It's
bust.
a relief to see you awake, my lady. I worried you were in for another long sleep.
Your steward appears to be lodged between some rocks. Despite this, her tone is warmly cheerful. I love boats. No, that's not it. Where are we?
Difficult to say for certain. The Deadfire is spotted with islands, some quite small. The good news is that if the storm hasn't spun us round entirely, I'd say we're in charted waters. I believe the Valian Trading Company operates in the region. Hence that little visit from that wretched pirate captain.
Any help here, Barath? Can we patch up the ship? What do we do now? Let's get going.
Whatever your aims, I'd say you have a better chance of accomplishing them with some assistance. Let's look for survivors first. Supplies after that. For now, I'd say your best bet is to find some sign of civilization. If nothing else, we may be able to hire on a shipwright. My lady, if it is not too taxing, could you explain how it came to pass that you were returned to us?
It turns out the gods are too dumb to figure out what Eothas is doing. Barath has given me a sacred duty. My soul passed into the beyond, and Barath gave me a choice: find Eothas or die. Squint dramatically. I've returned as the Herald of Barath. I'm on a special mission. What's our feelings on the god? They're bossy, and I don't like them. I guess it makes sense. Turns out the gods are too fucking dumb to figure out what Eothas is doing, so they sent me back to figure it out.
Perilous endeavor indeed. Castle or no castle, you are still my lady, and I will aid you to the best of my ability.
Damn straight. All right, we'll end it here. I'm enjoying this a lot. I don't know if you are, but we saw the combat. We saw pretty much all the early things of what this game has to offer, like with the little storybook thing, which I thought was pretty cool in the first one. We've got the combat. We've got a little bit of the story going on. We've got our character built. I'm ready to play. Let's do it. Bye, everybody.